Hello everybody, I'm Rusty. I want to welcome you to Island Breeze Tropicals. So today, well, I gotta tell you, we're just going to pot. We're going to talk about pots and bromeliads. So you know what? The sun is shining, the island breeze is blowing. It's time that you and I got growing. Come on, let's have some fun and talk about the right pots for bromeliads. So as it turns out, the island breeze is blowing a little bit more than normal. We have a cold front coming in, so it's going to be a little gusty. You're going to hear some wind and the wind chimes. So today let's talk about the right pots that you can use to pot up your bromeliads. Remember with bromeliads, because they're not woody plants, they're herbaceous perennials, drainage is very, very important. There are some pots that you can use, there are some pots that you shouldn't use, and there are some pots that you can use with others. So let's say you have divided your bromeliads, you've got a whole bunch of them, you want to pot them up, maybe give them to some friends, maybe put them someplace else. What kind of pots should you use? Well, I'm going to show you. This is a 6-inch azalea pot. It's pretty much industry standard. Almost everybody has these, and you can get them any place, probably even at your local box store. But here's what's important. You should always look at the pots that you buy and make sure that they're going to have the right drainage. If they don't have the right drainage, after a period of time, the holes could clog. So I'm going to hold this up into the camera. I'm going to try to, and maybe you can see how many holes are in the bottom here. Let's see if I can turn this around. And there you go. See all the holes? Now that's important. So that means that as long as your aggregate size is what you need to drain, this pot will not collect a lot of water. Now, plastic pots come in all different sizes. And we have this 6-inch pot right here. And they also come in 5 inches. And also 4-inch pots. So just like with the 6-inch pot, you need the right amount of holes in there. And as you can see, that should drain pretty good. And even with this 4-inch pot, come on Russ, you can do it. There you go. Even with this 4-inch pot, you can see the holes in there, I hope. So when you go to pot up your bromeliads, and you've chosen the right pot that you want, and it's got enough drainage in it, here's what you don't do. Do not put something in the bottom of the pot like pebbles. Now I'm just using clay pebbles right now as an illustration, but don't put that in the bottom of the pot because it's not going to help it drain anymore. As a matter of fact, I've seen it actually muck up the works. So what do? All you do is use the potting soil that you have chosen, and that's what's going to drain, and nothing else in the pot. And your plants will do just fine. It'll drain. But what happens if you want your bromeliad to be on display? I mean, we like plants. They look good. We want them on our deck or our patio. This really isn't all that pretty, is it? But I'll tell you what you can do. You can use decorative pots. Now, I'm going to show you something about decorative pots that you may not know. So this is a really, really nice decorative pot. I don't know, maybe it's not all that decorative, but it is a decorative pot. And you should never, ever put soil in your decorative pot when it comes to bromeliads. How come? As you can see, there is only one teeny tiny little hole in this decorative pot. So what happens if you keep on watering? Well, soil particles are going to percolate down and they're going to clog in that hole. Well, you'll never know it, of course, until your bromeliad starts looking like it's growing in a swamp. And your plant's going to die. So what do? Well, there's a way around that, so let me show you. Okay, so we have our decorative pot here, and we don't want to put soil in there again because it only has one drainage hole. Okay, so what do if you want to grow your bromeliad? So the interesting thing about bromeliads is, remember, they get water in the cup, in the tank of the plant. So you really never have to repot your bromeliad. And you don't have to repot it into soil in a decorative pot, which is a good thing because the pot would clog and kill your plant. So what do? Well, here's what I like to do. You take your plant and you put pot in pot. Now look, this is a lot deeper, isn't it? That doesn't look very good, I admit that. But here's all that you do. You take something inert. Right now, I'm going to take a 4-inch plastic pot. Now, remember I showed you drainage. It's not that necessary, but you don't want to clog the one hole that's in here. So you simply put that in, and then you put your bromeliad, okay, so you put your bromeliad right on top. And you put your bromeliad right on top of whatever you use to build it up in this pot. There, now it's going to stand up. So, a lot of people are concerned with this area right in here. It doesn't look all that good, does it? But what you can do is use Spanish moss to cover the gap. I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm working backwards here, guys. And just use Spanish moss. You know, you can drape it over top. I'm not good at decorating, as you can see. But anyway, you can get a unified look with the Spanish moss, or you can use smaller bromeliads in it. Now you can also use Terra Cotta. Terra Cotta is a little decorative. It's not as bad as the plastic. What we're going to do is show you the same exact thing. But here's the thing about Terra Cotta. Never use Terra Cotta as a growing pot. Never put soil in the Terra Cotta. Not only because it only has one drainage hole, but because Terra Cotta wicks moisture away from the root system. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it for cactus or succulents if that's what you've been doing, but for other plants, not a good thing. But it still makes for a nice little decorative pot, and you can put something like this Bilbergia, which is a Hallelujah variegated, and it looks just fine. Now there's nothing that is clogging the hole because this sits up about like that. And so when water falls down into here, then it will come out the bottom of the Terra Cotta the same exact way that it will out of the bottom of the decorative pot that we just showed you. So anyway, guys, that's it. I had fun. I hope you did too. So remember, when you use pots, they need to have enough drainage in them for your bromeliad, and don't put anything in the bottom of the pot. All you need to do is put your potting mix in here and plant your bromeliad, and you'll do just fine. And you can have them in decorative pots like this Terra Cotta, or in ceramic pots like this. So no matter where you are, I hope your sun is shining. I hope you have an island breeze blowing. I know that you need to keep growing. Have some fun. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.